Welcome to the very first episode of the No Narratives podcast. I'm here with my guy, my brother, Kyle Stegman. How
What it
you
do?
doing, man?
Yo, I'm doing good. How you doing, B?
All right, man. Hey, where can they find you on the socials, bro? Like that's one thing that I want to know. Like, where can they find you?
So they can get me at you can always find me on Facebook. I'm just on there, Kyle Stegman. But on Twitter, or I guess now it's known as X,
Mm, X, yeah.
K Stegman 8. K Stegman 8. Instagram is the same thing, K Stegman 8. And I also have on my I think it's the biography, if I'm not mistaken, or
The
the little
bio.
narrative aspect of it or header. You can find some of my artwork. You can find my art page on there as well. So those are two of my places you can catch me at. And then
Yeah,
on
Kyle is a fool.
Discord, if you ever happen to get into the gaming, hmm,
Yeah, Kyle is a fool with the
what was
graphic
it?
design. So you a fool with the graphic design, bro. You nice with that.
I try to be. And if you into the gaming world, I got a Discord as well. You can catch me there at KSteg88. That's also my gamer tag on all of my accounts. So KSteg88 if you ever want to hit me up.
Yeah, for
So
me, it's y'all know me. I mean, this is a new channel, so you might not know me, but for those who have followed me from my old channel, Red Nation Blog on
mm,
YouTube, and it's on X, and I'm Red Nation Blog on Instagram, and I'm Red Nation Blogger on TikTok. I'm Red Nation Blogger, man. Like that's me. That's the name that I have invented for myself. It just came to my brain one day, and I like it, so it stuck with me. I fuck with it. Some people call me blogger. I like it. It just matches me. I feel like it matches me, man. So that's
isn't
something
that
I'm gonna keep.
didn't you have some famous
No, I don't know what
weren't
you're
you
talking about.
you don't know
I
what
have
I'm
no
talking
idea. I have
about?
no idea what you're talking about. I've purged all of that out of my mind.
All
I actually met this guy. This guy's like 22. I met him the other day. I forgot what was going on. There was something that was going on. I can't remember what was going on this day, but it was something trade deadline. That's what it was. The NBA trade deadline. I was doing
right.
doing some content with another guy, and the guy was like 22. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, I remember you was the one of the." I was like, "Bro, how old were you at that point? Like, you had to have been 15."
Yo, that was
You know
what,
what
like
I'm
five,
saying?
6 years ago, some shit
Oh
like
man, that
that.
was 2015. That was
That was
9 years
2015. So that
ago.
was 8 years ago, dog.
That's crazy, bro.
Damn.
Insane. Insane how
Oh,
time
that's
flies,
wild.
man.
Wait, hold on.
Insane.
Is it 2024 or 2023?
It's 2024.
Yeah, I'm not used to that yet.
Yeah, man, it's
I am
crazy.
not.
It's insane.
I am
It's
not used
insane.
to that. So that was 9 years ago. Excuse me.
9 years ago. Man, that's that's
Damn.
that's nuts. And I'm still friends with the girls too, by the way. But let's get into it, man. We all know what we're here for, man. We're talking about the Super Bowl 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs ultimately come out victorious. Patrick Mahomes wins his third Super Bowl MVP. I think he has two MVPs regular season.
Hmm.
What did you think
No,
about?
no. I think he's only got one MVP in the season. It's Lamar that has the two MVPs. I think.
No, I think they both have two because I think
Does
when
Patty?
the year that Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, that he won MVP that season, and then he won MVP another season. I think he actually won MVP the last time he won MVP. They lost to the Bengals.
You're absolutely correct. I'm doing that
Yeah,
fact check right now. So he's got
yeah.
he won MVP in 2018 and he won MVP in 2022. So
Yep. See, that was the year they lost to the Bengals, I believe. Well, so if you win
mm,
MVP, you're not winning Super Bowl. Keep that in mind. But
if you win MVP, you're not going to the Super Bowl. You're not
right,
even winning the Super Bowl.
right.
Sorry, Lamar. Had to throw it out there, but
So what was your immediate takes from the game? Like what was your expectations going into the game and in the game, how it played out, and at post game, of course, how it
I'm
ended.
not even gonna deny it. I was actually watching the game with my pops, and I remember like at the end of the first quarter, I was like, "Yo, I guarantee you, ain't no one thought it was gonna be 0-0 at the end of the first quarter." But I mean, I'm not saying I was expecting like an offensive explosion and it to be, like the final would be like 35-33 or something like that. I'm not expecting some crazy score or wild score like that. But I definitely wasn't expecting it to be a defensive game the way that it was, which is crazy because when you think about it, both of these teams touted a top five or at least a top end defense in one shape or one way or the other. I thought it was a fairly balanced game. I liked how the refs stayed out of it unless they absolutely needed to be in it.
Mhm.
They didn't really make their presence known early, and I mean they were basically there just to monitor the game. I mean that's exactly what you would expect in the Super Bowl. The refs stayed out of it unless they really needed to be in it. I thought like I said before, the game was balanced. Play calling was thought play calling was a little crazy. I didn't expect the 49ers to go into their bag of tricks as early as they did to get their touchdown with McCaffrey. But all in all, I mean, it was a good game. But definitely if you're looking back at it, the 49ers left some points on the board.
Absolutely.
They definitely left some points on
Absolutely.
the board, and they left some points on the board, and their special teams really cost them with that muff punt. I think what was that in
I was like
the
the
third
third or fourth
quarter?
quarter. That
So it
was
was
like third or
late
fourth
in the
quarter.
third
Yeah.
quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was the third or fourth quarter. It was late, and it basically put Kansas City right on the 20. And Kansas City hadn't really moved the ball up until
They
that point.
punted.
I think they were moving it a little bit. Yeah, they were punting it. I mean, they
Yeah.
weren't moving the ball. So that right there kind of gave them some momentum because it put them right on the 20. And I think immediately the next play was a touchdown to Scantling. I don't even know his name, but I know it's
Valdez
Scantling.
Scantling. Yeah.
Valdez Scantling. I think it was immediately a touchdown to him on the next play,
Wide
and
open.
that gave yeah wide open in the end zone, and that gave the Kansas City Chiefs their first lead of the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
they hadn't had the lead at any point in that game.
Yeah.
So if you really go back and look at this game, I'm saying 49ers because, and you and I had talked about this a little bit earlier, and I know you're going to want to probably get into it. I don't know if you want to transition into that now, but I'm saying 49ers because there's been a lot of hate on Brock Purdy. Been a
Yeah.
massive amount of hate on Brock Purdy.
Absolutely.
This I mean, he had, I mean, by standards, he had a solid game. He didn't do anything to like wow you, but he didn't do anything to hurt the team either. He didn't turn the ball over. He got the ball to the playmakers when he needed to, and he did exactly what you wanted as a quarterback. He managed the game. He didn't do anything outlandish.
And you know,
Whereas,
I think that's what people want to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that people like going into this game, I seen somebody make a comment, oh, well, I'm going for the Chiefs because the 49ers have this super team. I'm like, well, where were they at? Because Debo was a no call, no show. George Kittle was a no
mhm.
call, no show. What
Oh, be
Travis
careful
Kelsey
now. Oh, be
stats,
careful now, because people are going to be talking about Debo being a no call no show due to the fact that he hurt his hamstring or he hurt his
didn't he hurt
leg
his
and he was
hamstring in the
playing.
second half?
I think it was the second half, but I mean
So what about the
he
first half?
came
Was
up.
his hamstring hurt?
I have no idea, but I mean that's the thing though. The one thing that San Francisco, and I know this being a Texan fan, and watching Gary Kubiak for 8 years, and him coming from the Shanahan system, that they want to run the West Coast. They want to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and hit you with the play action passes. Well, they kind of got away from McCaffrey at certain points in this game where it's
They
just
did.
like Kansas City never had a answer for Christian McCaffrey at any point in time. I mean, if you go back and look at the only time that the Kansas City or not Kansas City, the only time that the 49ers hurt themselves when they were running the ball with the McCaffrey was that fumble he had on the first drive in the red zone.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the only time that giving the ball to McCaffrey stopped them was when he fumbled the rock. That was it. Other than that, McCaffrey was your answer.
Dynamite.
He was your bell cow.
Yeah. And I
So,
think,
I mean,
like I said, but to go back, a lot of people was talking about the super team that these guys had at these skill positions. Christian McCaffrey and Jennings were like the only two offensive guys that were doing anything outside of Brock Purdy. Debo Samuel was a no call, no
but
show. George Kittle was a no call, no show.
Debo Samuel, yeah, I was about to say George
The whole
Kittle.
first game looked like Travis Kelsey stats what they was in the first half. Like in first half,
mhm.
Travis Kelsey had like one target, one catch for like -3 yards or some shit like that. That was what
No, it
George
was.
Kittle
I think
stats
it
played
was
for the whole game.
legitimately it was 1 yard. It was
1 yard.
legitimately like one
So
yard.
that was George Kittle's stats
Yeah.
pretty much the whole damn game. That was the kind of impact that he had.
Hmm.
So I'm not understanding this. Everybody tooting their own drum and they're shitting on Brock Purdy. And I'm like, I can understand if Brock Purdy went out there and he played how Dak Prescott played against the Green Bay Packers. I can understand. Oh shit,
100%.
okay, yeah, let's go blame Brock Purdy. Let's shit on Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy didn't
But
play like that.
but when I read out, okay, so I'm looking at a stat line right now. So you've got Brock Purdy was 23 of 38. First of all, I don't think he's ever thrown 38 passes in a game ever in his
Yeah.
life. So let's go ahead and throw that out there. But he completed 23 of his 38 passes. He had 255 yards passing. He averaged just under 7 yards a throw. He had a touchdown. He didn't turn the ball over, and he only was sacked one time. He was sacked one time for a 4 yard loss. I mean, your offensive line is doing their job. He's doing his job by staying out of trouble and not committing any turnovers. So where does it fall off at? It falls
They're
off
saying he
at,
should
in
have
my
won the
eyes,
game.
they're saying he should have won the game.
Yes,
Kind of
and
hard to win.
did he make mistakes? I mean, he missed throws, but
Yeah,
did he turn over the ball?
no, I mean he didn't
Mahomes
turn the
made
ball over,
mistakes.
but I mean if we're gonna go at it in that direction, Patrick Mahomes made a mistake. He threw an interception on
But
the
they
first
said
drive of the third quarter.
he can overcome his mistakes because he's a quote unquote game changer. My thing is, who in the hell in their right mind is saying that Brock Purdy is more talented than the top guys in the league? They might say he's more productive, but in terms of talent, in terms of skill, nobody is saying this. And I think people often conflate the two things. It's not about Brock Purdy being more talented. He isn't more talented. He doesn't have the best arm. He isn't the fastest. He isn't the strongest. He isn't the quickest or the most
But he
mobile.
stays within his
He
talent,
stays
and that's
within.
and
So
and
that
that's
is
what
why
makes
it's
him so
valuable.
good. And that's why he's
Exactly.
valuable, because he doesn't try to do anything that he's
Exactly.
not capable of doing. He stays within his own ability, and he moves the ball down the field. Like I said, he stayed out of trouble getting sacks. He didn't turn the ball over. And I keep on going back to, and you and I've talked about it, I keep going back to the decision to kick the field goal at in overtime. And
Yeah.
you want I think it was 4th and goal at the 4 yard line,
They had like
if
4
I'm not
yards to
mistaken.
go. They had like I
They
think it
had
was
like 4 yards to go.
fourth
But
and
I mean,
four.
if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, the play before that was a run to McCaffrey to the outside, and I
I
think
think
he
they
got
lost
stood up
yards. Yeah,
and he lost
yeah,
yards.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
what are you doing in that situation? Like, if you want, you're going to have to throw the ball into the end zone. Like, they're expecting McCaffrey at this point to run the rock. Spread them out. That do what you've been doing all year long, but not just that. On the drive itself, you spread out Kansas City's defense to force them to match up with your playmakers.
True.
That is what has made San Francisco so dangerous this year, was the fact that Purdy can read the defense and get the ball into the
I will
playmakers'
say,
hands.
every time the Chiefs needed to stop, Chris Jones was in Brock Purdy's
Oh
face.
yeah, he was,
So
but
that may have been outside of Kyle Shanahan forgetting the overtime
you
rules,
know
which
what?
we got to talk about. Chris
I'm
Jones
talking.
wrecked that game plan.
You know what? I'm lying. The play before the third down play, where they were trying to get the ball to Jennings, if I'm not
Yeah, and
mistaken, and
Yeah,
Chris
he
Jones blew
overthrew him.
that play up
Yeah, he
and
blew
was in
him
his
up.
face,
Yeah,
and he basically had to lob it. But Brandon Jennings had beat his defender. That was going to be a touchdown. I remember watching it. He had
he
beat his
overthrew
defender.
him,
It
right?
was on
Yeah,
a
he overthrew him.
it
Yeah.
was on it was on a it was on an in and out route. I remember it. He
Oh yeah,
we
Tony
called
Romo
we
showed it.
called it
Yeah,
a
showing it.
yeah,
Romo showed it.
we called it a V route in high school. He ran a V route, popped it outside, wide open, at like the 2 yard line. It would have been just a simple pass. He would have walked into the end zone, and they would have been up a touchdown, forcing Kansas City to have to score a touchdown, which they ultimately ended up doing. But then we're not looking at it being a 25-22 game. We're looking at it being a tied game, and we're going to overtime number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
So,
there's a lot of mistakes made. It's easy. It's always easy when you're talking about these things in hindsight to go back and say, "Oh, they should have did this. They should have did that." It's always easier in hindsight to do those types of things. But for me, I
mhm.
just like my whole thing, this whole game. Like, okay, they lost, whatever. Like, we know Kyle Shanahan has problems in the Super Bowl. Like, he showed that in Atlanta. He showed that 2 times in San Francisco. We know this. But my thing is, the one thing that I've been stuck on all day, and I've been fighting with it all day on social media, both on X and on Facebook in groups, is the whole narrative of Brock Purdy being a game manager, a game changer. And I don't get it, because personally, I don't care what Dan Orlovsky says on ESPN. I don't care. Like, I feel like nobody else outside of Dan Orlovsky was pom-pomming and waving their hands saying Brock Purdy's elite, Brock Purdy's elite. I feel like more people have been saying he isn't elite than people that have been saying he is elite. Now, maybe people have said, like I said earlier, he's more productive, but that doesn't mean that he's better. You can be more productive than a player and not be better than a player because of your role or whatever the case may be. And I think that that's what needs to be differentiated when having these types of conversations. But people latch on to things and they don't want to get off. You know what I mean? And I think that nobody wants to go into this conversation and have an honest dialogue. Now we're all going back and we're saying, remember, he missed this throw. Remember, he missed that throw. And that's why he isn't elite. Nobody's talking about George Kittle, who makes this team super. Nobody's talking about Deebo Samuel, who makes this team super. Nobody's talking about them. The conversation is about Brock Purdy, which I believe is unfair as a guy that was drafted Mr. Irrelevant. No, because I don't believe he's elite. I don't think there's anything in his talent or his skill level that is elite, which is why he got drafted last. Duh.
100%. 100%. And most
like,
systems, and I mean, if you want to look at it, in most systems, he'd be a backup quarterback. Hands down, he'd be a backup quarterback. But in this system, he does his job and he plays his role 100%. He doesn't
found him
need
on
to
accident.
Here's the thing. He doesn't need to be elite when you've got the likes of Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback who's basically a convert who could basically play tight end or fullback. And then you've also got George Kittle. Here's the thing. Of those 5 players, 3 or your 2 biggest stars didn't show up. Deebo Samuel, 3 catches, 33 yards for 11 targets. Now, were they great throws? No. I mean, let's be honest. They probably all weren't great throws, but he was a non-factor. George Kittle was targeted 3 times. He had 2 catches for 4 yards. Granted, one of his catches resulted in a key first down on that their overtime drive, if I'm not mistaken. So he showed up in that moment, but it's like you're in the Super Bowl. Your counterpart playing for the 49ers was targeted 10 times, 9 catches, 93 yards.
Wow.
He had 1 catch for 1 yard in the first half. So he had 8 catches for 92 yards in the second half alone. Yeah. I mean, if you're that guy, you have to be that guy. That is why I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but other people have seen it. Travis Kelce was in Andy Reid's face at halftime because he wants the ball. Players want the ball. Superstars understand the situation. They want the rock. You can hate on A.J. Brown all you want. You can hate on T.O. got this rap. You can hate on all these elite receivers who want the rock. But here's the thing. When the chips are down and you need to make a play, who are you turning to? You're turning to those guys who have been in that situation to get it done. Here's the problem. The only people who stood up for San Francisco was Christian McCaffrey.
Jennings.
Juwan Jennings.
Juwan
Jennings. Never heard of the guy.
Never.
Made a name for himself yesterday.
Right.
He had 4
great
Chris
catches. Conley was a beast on special teams. Chris Conley was a beast on special teams.
Chris Conley was a beast. But he also had a catch for 18 yards in this game.
He did.
So it's like you've got these no-name guys stepping up into that position.
And the superstars aren't doing anything.
When the superstars ain't doing anything on the biggest stage of the year. Mm-hmm. Biggest stage of the year, you should be in Brock Purdy's face. You should be in Kyle Shanahan's face. Give me the damn ball. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what play calls you do. Get me the damn rock. Know where I am. So
yeah,
you can hate on Brock Purdy all you want, but the thing is though, he stayed within the realm of the offense. He didn't do anything drastic. He didn't go and try to be Patrick Mahomes. He didn't try to go be Josh Allen. He didn't try to go be Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff. He didn't try to be any of these other elite quarterbacks in the league. He stayed within his skill set, his ability. He did what he was brought in to do. Yeah, could he have been a little bit more accurate? Yes, but it's like what you stated at the beginning of this conversation or at one point in this conversation. Chris Jones was a beast. Yeah. There were at least 4 or 5 passes.
I'm seeing people say that he
could have
threw accurate passes with Chris Jones in his face. I'm seeing people say this, and I'm like, what? Like, there's quarterbacks there with nobody in
Josh Allen wasn't even doing that. Now, Josh Allen is considered to be a freaking elite quarterback. He wasn't even doing that.
Yeah.
So how are you going to hold? So then how are you going to hold Brock Purdy, who everyone is saying isn't elite? How are you going to hold him to that same standard? If that's the case, Brock Purdy's elite because Josh Allen's elite, and y'all are expecting the same damn thing.
Yeah. And people, I think it's just a lot of disingenuous conversation. I think that's all it is. It's a lot of disingenuous conversation.
It goes back to it goes
Yeah.
back to this narrative here. They a lot of people want to be a hater because he is Mr. Irrelevant. But the thing is though, and I guess they don't like that story. And this is just my personal opinion. I can't speak for other people. I can't speak for ignorance. But what I can say is the kid's got a perfect Cinderella story. He was Mr. Irrelevant. He's been, let's be honest, he would have been in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row.
I don't know if I can agree
And
with that one,
his
brother.
first,
But you got it. Go ahead.
no, no, no. But think about it. Think about it. Had he not gotten hurt, okay, maybe not. Okay,
I don't
maybe
know because the Eagles
there's
last year, the Eagles this year, and
the
the Eagles
Eagles
last
last
year are
year.
two different teams.
The Eagles last year
Yes.
were that team. I'll say that.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
me rephrase that. Let me pump my brakes, slow down, reverse, and reverse that. He would have had an opportunity to be in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row
Yeah.
because in reality, that San Fran defense last year was better than the San Fran defense this year.
Okay. I could buy that. I could buy that. Yeah.
I mean, if we want to go back to the defense, I mean, the defense didn't do them any favors either because starting somewhere in the middle of the fourth quarter, they started doing uh some conservative zone BS where they had
oh yeah. I hate when teams do that. I need to. I need
but
to
I
talk
mean,
to
but
every defensive coordinator
it
and ask
wasn't
them why they do
just
that.
but it wasn't just their defensive backs. They had their linebackers playing 7 or 8 yards
And
off of the
eight
damn
eight
ball as
yards,
well.
you're giving up 3 to 4 yards a catch, and then run after catch to chew clock because you don't want to, I guess, give them time. I'm like, that's dumb. Play them regular, straight up. Like maybe
Play them
I
straight
don't
up.
know the game, but I have not seen that strategy be successful. I have yet
Mm-hmm.
to see that strategy be successful, especially versus a Peyton Manning, a Tom Brady, a Patrick Mahomes. I've yet to see that strategy of, hey, let me play 15 yards off the line of scrimmage, give up 6 to 7 to 8 yards a catch, and then let them get in field goal range or touchdown range. And I've yet to see it work. So why do
It's never
defensive
worked.
coordinators continuously do this? I saw, to go all the way back, 2019, Monday Night Football, Texas opened up against the Saints. Romeo Crennel did the same thing. He played way off and let Drew Brees walk down the field, get at the 50, they kick a field goal, we lose. Why did you do that? Why did you give up all of these yards when they only needed 3? Like, I just don't understand that.
There's a multitude of scenarios. There's a multitude of
It's so
there's a
many.
multi there's so many. I mean, hell, D'Amico Ryans did it this year, which resulted
Yep.
in a loss for
The
us.
Falcons.
The Falcons game.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I hate that coverage. I hate that defense, man.
It
I
makes
hate
absolutely no sense. Now, if you're up, like 2 or 3
if they
scores,
need a
and
7, if they need 7,
if
I
they need
understand.
7, well, not even
But not 3.
if they need 7. If you're up 2 or 3 scores and you're just trying to let them chew clock,
Yeah, that makes sense.
let them chew
Yes,
clock all you
you're
want,
right.
whatever. But if it's a 1 score lead or 1 score game, whether it's a field goal, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion, don't give them that.
Yep.
Make them earn it.
Yep.
Make
I
them
agree.
earn it.
Yeah, I agree. I want to segue a little bit. I mean, I still want to stay within the game, but I just want to segue. I brought this up and I got a lot of pushback again. Like, I get pushback all the time.
Good.
Andy Reid, in my opinion, in terms of head coaches in the modern era, from when I started watching football in 2001, 2002 until now, I think he's the greatest coach to coach. Bill Belichick won as the defensive coordinator, but as a head coach before Tom Brady, he did not win. He didn't come close to winning. Didn't come close to even the playoffs, I don't think, until he had, as a head coach, had Tom Brady. So
I will.
Andy Reid without Patrick Mahomes, I just want to say the resume real quick.
I am
multiple NFC championship games, a Super Bowl appearance.
You don't have to say it because if you go back to it, he's got the Super Bowl win with I wonder, was it with Donovan McNabb?
No, they lost
or
to
was
the
it
Patriots.
With Nick Foles? Was he there?
They lost to the Patriots. No, Doug Peterson was there in 2017 when they beat the Patriots.
That's right. Doug Peterson was the one that won with Nick Foles as quarterback.
Yeah.
That's right. But if you go back and look at all the teams that Andy Reid has had, he's always been relevant. I've never seen an Andy Reid team that has not been, maybe his first year or two in Kansas City, but
Well, they had Alex Smith. Even then, they had
Even then, they
Alex
had
Smith.
Alex
They
Smith.
couldn't get over the hump, but they
Mm-hmm.
still had Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Jason, a Travis Kelce. Like
A younger
they had
Travis
a
Kelsey.
good
Yeah.
team. They just didn't have Patrick Mahomes. So that's my thing. Like
I'm not.
Andy
I,
Reid is
I'm
always in the
not.
mix.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. Um, However, I'm not going to agree with it either, just because of the fact that Belichick does have that. Belichick did have the success that he had. Was it because of who he had at quarterback? I mean, there's a reason he's the GOAT. There's a reason why they
So I
say Tom
mean, then
Brady is the
how
GOAT.
much credit can we give Bill then?
And that's the reason why, I'm not going to disagree with you either. It's because of the fact that, I mean, Brady did win him 6 rings. I will not. Was it 5? No, it
6.
was 6 because Brady won. Brady has 7, and he
Mhm.
won the one with the Buccaneers.
The
That's right.
Bucks, yeah.
Um, and there's a little bit of value in what you're saying due to the fact that ever since Brady left, that Patriots team has been abysmal.
But even before Brady, go to when he was with the Browns. They did not win. He was again. I'm not taking away from him. Away from him as a defensive coordinator. I know people are going to say that. I know people are going to say you're ignoring. I'm talking about Andy Reid as a head coach, Bill Belichick as a head coach. The best season that I can recall with Bill Belichick as with a non-Tom Brady team was when they had Matt Castle. They went 11 and
Yeah.
5 and still missed the playoffs. They did not make the playoffs. So that's the best. That's the best season. And then the year with Mac Jones as a rookie when they lost to the Buffalo Bills and they got smacked. That's the only 2 seasons. One season he missed the playoff. One season he made the playoffs, went out in the first round. Andy Reid, without Patrick Mahomes, has been to the playoffs multiple times, has won multiple playoff games, and has been to a Super Bowl. And he had a streak with the Eagles where I think he went to like 4 championship games or something like that. At some point, he was like, at one point, he was like one of the coaches that had been to that many without getting to the Super Bowl or without winning a Super Bowl. So I'm just saying, I think, and now the second that Andy Reid gets a quarterback that is of the level and stature of a Tom Brady, he's won 3 Super Bowls. So, I mean, what happens if he has a Peyton Manning or an Aaron Rodgers or a Brett Favre when Belichick had Tom Brady? What happens? Like, how differently do those teams look rather than Donovan McNabb? And Donovan McNabb was a really good quarterback. So I don't
Well, and
want to
that's the
say act
thing.
like Donovan McNabb was a scrub. He
Well,
wasn't.
and that's the thing. I mean, he had a couple of solid good quarterbacks there
And look
because
what he did with
he had
Michael
Mike
Vick.
Vick. Yeah, because look at
Yeah.
what he did with Mike Vick. And that was Vick coming. Vick hadn't been in the league for what,
A year and a half, about
4 or 5 years at that point.
No, like it was only a year
Something
and a
like
half.
that.
It was only like a year and a
Year
half.
and a half.
It was only it was like a year and a
Year
half.
and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. I
It
mean,
may
I'm
have felt
not.
like
Yeah, it may have felt like that. I'm not. I'm not disagreeing with you.
okay. Well,
I
hey,
had.
as long hey.
I had that. I've had this conversation with people in the past before, but and usually the pushback you're getting from is people who are diehard Patriots fans and Boston fans and people who love New England.
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to disagree with you on that
Okay.
because the resume does speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Andy Reid has been to. I mean, hell, I'll pull that up right now. Give me a minute.
Shit, 4 Super Bowls, 5 Super
He's
Bowls.
been
He's been to
he's been to 4
5.
Super Bowls, but I mean, it's not even just that either. We're also looking at
He
the
lost 2 and won 3. He lost to the Buccaneers when they had Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes is in the second season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
5 Super Bowls, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Patrick
3-time
Mahomes,
Super.
Yeah. Go ahead. Run it off.
Yeah, no. I'm still pulling it up right now.
Man, you be on it with the data. I ain't gonna cap. You be on it.
I gotta find it first. That's the thing. Andy Reid,
Wikipedia.
That's what I'm doing right now. Playoff record. I mean, he's got 26. He's got 26 playoff wins, only trailing Belichick for 31.
He has 26.
Yeah, he's got 26.
So
this was updated 15 minutes ago.
He gonna get that the next 2 seasons.
Yeah. Honestly, they could. He could mess around and try and get that next year, and just if they want to be a wild card team.
No, they only gonna play, but wild card, division, conference, Super Bowl. That's 4
division, conference.
That's the most
that'd be 4.
Yeah, that's the most he can get. Yeah, that's the most. That's what I said. 2 seasons, like shit. That's what I'm saying. Like the resume is not that far off outside of the quote unquote rings, but like we know Tom Brady was there. Like, what has Bill done since? Like Andy Reid is. Did you see? Okay, everybody wants to talk about Patrick Mahomes. The play calling that Andy Reid did when they needed six, masterclass, absolute masterclass. He took Kyle Shanahan to school. Like he took him to school. It was beautiful to watch. The screenplays, the
All right,
option
here we go.
play, that shit was
Here we go.
beautiful.
Been to the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 seasons. Of the 19
years.
seasons, he went when he was in Philly, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. In Kansas City, he's gone 10 times. The only time that they didn't go to the playoffs was his second time or his second season in Kansas City when they went 9-7. And I think that was the year that Alex Smith got hurt, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay.
And they went 9-7.
Okay. That's the only season in his career where he
And
didn't make the playoffs.
he no. That's the only season, or that's the only season he's been in Kansas City that he didn't go to the playoffs. Every
Okay.
single year that he's been in Kansas City, they've been to the playoffs.
What about Philly?
He's been in Philly. He didn't go his first year. They finished last in the NFC East in 2005, last in the NFC East in 2007, and then his last 2 years in Philly, which was 2011 and 2012, he didn't go.
Okay. 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 Cool. Well, then that's all. I really just wanted to have that conversation with you. You said you didn't agree, but you also didn't disagree. So it's a fun
the only reason why,
tonight.
and the only reason why I won't, the only reason why I'll stay 50-50 on it is due to the fact I do agree with the fact that he's a better head coach. I think that was your original question.
I'm talking about
who's the better head coach?
strictly in head coaching, not coordinating.
Strictly head coach.
Coordinator.
Strictly head coach. I will say that I think he's a better overall head coach. Because I mean if you look at it, the stats line up for themselves. However, in those years that they had that they did have Tom Brady, those were some dangerous teams, and the crazy aspect that you got to think about it is towards the tail end of, or the second, I think the last two Super Bowls they won, they weren't really known for having a strong defense. They had a solid defense, but it was really Brady.
2019 when they played the Rams, that was a defensive game. It was like one, I think it was one touchdown scored. And it was like nothing but field goals. It was like
I don't
3-3.
And here's the crazy part. I don't
That
remember.
was the year with Jared Goff. That was the year Jared Goff was on the Rams, and that was the year that they went. That Super Bowl was very low scoring. Yes, Jared Goff had went.
That was the year that he was. That was his last year.
Yeah,
and that was his last year in Los Angeles. That's Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles. That was his last year in Los Angeles. You're right, because they traded him the next offseason for Matthew Stafford.
Yep,
that's crazy.
Yep, that's what I'm saying, crazy. Man. Like I'm telling you, man. Like I recent stuff, I kind of got to get a hold on. You know what I'm saying? But last thing, I guess to segue into, I don't know what I'm gonna get out of you on this one. I really don't know. So I'm gonna just ask the question. What did you think about the Taylor Swift stuff? What did you think about? I think they showed her on TV 13 times. I don't know if you was playing any type of shots game. If you was, it's a miracle that you made it home. I was about to say it's a miracle that you made it home. What did you think about it? Like, what did you? Yeah.
I actually had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I get what they're doing. As a fan, I don't like it because I feel like it takes away from the game itself. But I get why they're doing it. I think they were saying that the moment that the world found out that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were dating, I think viewers and sales, just Travis Kelce sales, just is skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So I get why they're doing it. I mean, it's a huge publicity. It's a bunch of publicity. It's a bunch of free publicity, and it's a bunch of, it's a bunch of new fans, and it's a bunch of money. And I mean, she's a megastar. They're going to show her. I mean,
Mhm.
let's not take away from who else was in the suite with her. I mean, you also had Blake Lively, who's Ryan Reynolds'
Oh
wife,
my, I love
in
looking
the
at
suite
Blake
with her.
Lively. I can't lie.
And then I think Ice Spice was,
Ice Spice, yeah. I'm
yeah.
not gonna
So I
lie.
mean,
When I
it's
saw
like
Blake Lively in
I
the
mean, don't get
box,
me wrong.
I want to go. Blake Lively is beautiful.
I
I like
wanted to
her.
go.
I liked her. She looked
Oh my
real good
God.
in that
I
movie,
mean,
Inception. She did.
hands down. I mean,
Hmm.
you wild. You ain't wrong though. And she, but I mean, let's be honest. The reason why they were painting to the suite was because of Taylor Swift.
Of course.
And you, my thing is this: as a fan, let the two of them have their moment. Let the two of them live their life and live their life without
I'm a hater. I can't.
all the paparazzi. You said what?
I'm a hater. I can't.
Oh, you want that? Oh, you want to see it?
No, no. I'm a hater. I can't let them have their moment. I need this shit
I'm
to
saying let
end. I need this shit to
no
end.
no 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 no. I'm saying let them have their moment off camera. I don't
Oh
need
yeah,
to
yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let them live their life in privacy. Let them have their privacy. Let them do their thing. It's like every single time she does something, the everything explodes.
What's funny
It's
is
funny.
what's funny is Kelsey was so quiet in the first half. When I think it was Rasheem Rice that scored the touchdown, they hadn't showed Taylor at all. When they finally showed, I think Rasheem Rice had made a big play. I don't even think he scored a touchdown. They finally showed Taylor Swift. They just panned the camera to her. It was like 3 minutes left in the first. I was like, damn, Travis Kelsey is that quiet that they didn't even have a reason to show her. Like, if Travis Kelsey had like 7, 8 catches, they would have showed her like 20 fucking times. You know what I'm saying? But he was so
Mhm,
quiet that Rice made a play and they showed her. When Patrick Mahomes threw that ball right before Pacheco fumbled, they showed
mhm.
Taylor Swift that play. I was like, damn, they thirsty. I was like, that
That
fucking
wasn't.
thirsty.
I don't think that was Rice. I think
No,
that was.
it was
I
somebody.
think that was
Harwood, Hartman.
Hardman. It was Hardman.
Hardman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the big
It was
play in the
McCole
first
Hardman.
quarter, and then
Yeah.
Pacheco fumble right after. Yeah, that shit was
Yep.
so funny, man. They was thirsty as hell. I was laughing. I was laughing like motherfucker.
Oh, it's actually funny you bring up Rasheed Rice. I love what he did. I don't know if you saw it on the sideline. He was in Patrick
Oh
Mahomes'
yeah,
ass.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Patrick
Hey yo,
Mahomes was yelling
pause.
back at him. And I was just like, bro, I don't give a damn who you are. I could have won this fucking game. And they went back and looked at it. He's wide open in the middle of the field, and Patty Kermit the Frog Mahomes is over here like throwing into like double coverage or some shit. I
Yeah,
would have been in his face too. I don't give a damn who
yeah.
you are. Read the freaking field, bro. I am
We'll
wide
see if
ass.
Rice is still there next season though. Let's see if Rice is still
We'll
there next
see.
season after that.
I mean, we'll see though. I mean, you're right because it's Patrick Mahomes, and
Mm.
everyone's going to be coming to run to him, and oh well, are you okay? And it's just like they're gonna come and
Yeah,
cater to him, and that's fine. I get it, but
yeah,
it's like I'm glad as a receiver because I played receiver in high school. As a receiver, I don't give a damn who my quarterback is. Yo, I'm open in the middle of the field, dog. I could instead of kicking a field goal, we're going to win this bitch. Like
yeah,
there is no overtime. We're about to be up 4 because
yeah,
you threw it to me. We're not kicking a field goal. And
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes didn't want to hear it because he was in his feelings or whatever.
yeah.
And I'm Patrick Mahomes. So it's
That's how
like,
it is, man.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm not. I'm just happy that he stood up for himself. I'm happy that he stood up for the situation and he was holding him accountable. That's all it was. He was holding Patrick Mahomes accountable. It's like, dog, we could have won this thing. Screw overtime. We could have won this thing right now. So no, it's not hating on Patrick Mahomes. I love that he stood up for himself. But to go back to your original question, I think it's hilarious that they showed her like 13, 14 times. Um, however, I I'm at the point now where it's like, can I just enjoy football for football? Like, I'm not. I don't want to tune into football to see Taylor Swift. If I want to see Taylor Swift, I'll go pull up YouTube, watch some music videos, or I'll go find wherever she's touring at, and I'll go catch a concert.
Nice,
I
man. But
mean,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
I'll let
mean,
you.
if you want to pan to her a couple of times, I mean that's fine. I mean, how many? I mean, they do that with other star players. They pan to their families. They showed Brock Purdy's parents once or twice. They showed I think they showed Patrick Mahomes's wife once or twice. So it's like I get it. I understand, but it's like we don't need to pan to Taylor Swift 13, 14, 15 times. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, bro, she wasn't the only celebrity at the game. They showed Beyonce and Jay-Z being there. I mean, they showed uh geez, who else was at that? Who else? I mean, the game was in Vegas, so you already know there was a bunch of celebrities at that game. So it's like if you're gonna pan to her, what's the difference between her and the other 30 or 40 superstars that are there or celebrities that
Yeah.
are there? I mean,
Yeah.
she's dating Travis Kelce. Great. I mean, it's
It's
like
just Taylor Swift, man. You know what I'm saying? She's the largest celebrity in the world, and everybody got something to say, positive or negative. It brings in revenue. So, the best way for
and
people
here's the
to really
thing.
get rid of
It,
it
it
is to
comes down
ignore it.
to it. And it comes down to it. There's no hate towards her or Travis. Honestly, I think Travis is hilarious. I love him. I watch his podcast to be honest with you, with him and his brother, and they're hilarious. I've watched his brother's documentary on Amazon Prime, and I mean I love it. I think they're hilarious. But when it comes down to it, it's like if you want to show her a couple of times, great, but you don't need to show her 13, 14, 15, 16 times in a game,
Mhm.
especially every single play that Travis does something. It's like, okay, she's
Mhm.
probably going to be cheering. Can her and the rest of the fans cheer without us panning right to her? I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true,
come on
man. That's
now.
true. No, that's definitely true, man. But hey, look, this was a great first episode of the NNP, the Narratives podcast. That's a tongue twister for me. I'm gonna have to get that right, man. No Narratives podcast. It
No
was a great
narratives.
first episode. We definitely gonna do this more, and it's not just gonna be about football. That's just happened to be the topic today. We definitely gonna be
Oh
discussing
yeah.
other shit. Me and Kyle are gonna be feeding off of each other. You know what I'm saying? Building that chemistry and doing everything that we need to do right. But I'm Rand Nation Blogger. That's my guy Kyle Stegman. You know what I'm saying? Big, always doing big things, man. Me and him go all the way back to high school. We used to be playing ball together, man. Shit was fun as fuck. I remember those days, man. But thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We out. Let's see, and meeting.